If Atlassian billing has ever felt more confusing than it should, this video is for you. Today, I will walk you through how billing works for Atlassian Cloud. And I will also compare that to Data Center so you can better understand which model fits your organization. By the end, you should have a clear picture of what drives your bill, who should manage it, and what makes cloud billing different from Data Center. Hey, I'm Marvin, and I work as a technical support engineer and DevOps at Resolution. I spend a lot of time helping teams understand Atlassian administration, especially when it comes to access, configuration, and billing. And billing is one of those topics that seems simple at first, until someone asks, why did this invoice change?
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down, I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. 'Cause when it's game time.
So let's start with the actual problem. Atlassian Cloud billing depends on a few core things: your plan, your billing frequency, and the number of users who have app access at the end of the billing cycle. That already creates questions. Then there's more. Some teams see different billing screens. Some work with quotes, some manage invoices through billing admins, and in some cases, there can also be usage-based charges. So suddenly a simple subscription doesn't feel so simple anymore. Then the next question comes up. Should we just use Data Center instead? And that changed the whole conversation, because now you're not only comparing pricing, you are comparing operating models. Cloud means Atlassian runs the platform. Data Center means you run it yourself. And that affects not just cost, but also ownership, maintenance, and long-term planning. But just to be fair, Atlassian already announced Data Center end of life. So if you're not already using Data Center, you would not really be able to buy or purchase a new Data Center license. So this is more for customers who want to stay with Data Center. So here's the goal for this video. I want to give you a simple mental model. First, what drives the cloud bill? Second, who should control it? And third, where is it managed? And finally, how that compares to Data Center. Let's begin with cloud. For Atlassian Cloud, your bill is mainly based on the plan you selected. You can see it here already on my instance. So you can select between a monthly or annual plan. And the plan you have selected whether you pay monthly or annually, and how many users have access to the app at the end of the billing cycle. So that last part is especially important because billing is tied to access, not to intention, not to who might use the tool someday, not to who logged in last week. If a user has app access, they can affect your costs. That's why user lifecycle management matters so much. If access is not cleaned up, billing can drift upward without anyone noticing right away. So let's have a look here at my test instance, and you can already see that you have a table or a column with users and the next price estimation. So if I would add more users to Confluence as an example, the next price estimation would be higher than before. The next piece of ownership is a piece of ownership. Who actually manages billing? In Atlassian improved billing experience, billing admins can do the important tasks. They can access billing accounts, manage payment details, pay invoices, add or remove other billing admins, and change plans. That matters a lot, because billing should never depend on just one person. Atlassian recommends having at least 2 billing admins. And honestly, that makes perfect sense. Because the worst possible moment to discover there's only one billing admin, there's another detail that often confuses teams. Atlassian is rolling out an improved billing experience. So not every customer sees the exact same interface. In the newer experience, billing is centered around billing accounts. In the older experience, billing tasks may still be split across different areas. And that means 2 admins can both be correct and still be looking at different screens. So if you create internal documentation, make sure it says which billing experience your organization is using. That one detail alone can save a lot of confusion. Now let's turn this into a practical framework. When I explain cloud billing, I like to break it into 4 parts. Number 1, bill drivers. Number 2, billing roles. Number 3, payment and quote workflow. And number 4, possible usage-based extras. If you understand those 4 parts, cloud billing becomes much easier to manage. And once we have that, we can compare it clearly with data center. So step 1, bill drivers. For cloud, the core billing drivers are simple. Your plan, your billing frequency, and the number of users with access. That is your baseline. So if you are trying to forecast cost, start there first. Before you look at anything else, make sure you understand those 3 elements. And step 2, the billing ownership. Make sure the right people actually have control. Billing admins should be able to manage invoices, payment methods, and subscription changes. And ideally, this responsibility is documented, not assumed. This is one of those areas where organizations get into trouble. Everyone assumes someone else owns it. And then when a renewal issue appears, nobody knows who is responsible. So define ownership clearly. Step 3, the payment methods and quotes. For annual cloud subscription, quotes can be created and reviewed. That matters for procurement teams, for finance approvals, and for renewal planning. So if your organization needs more like a formal purchasing workflows, annual billing may feel more familiar. It gives you a clear cycle for budgeting and approvals. Monthly billing, on the other hand, may feel more flexible, but it can also make cost changes more visible, month to month. Neither it's automatically better. It depends on how your organization likes to manage. Step 4, the usage-based charges. This is the part many teams overlook. In some cases, if your usage goes behind what is included, extra charges can be added to the next invoice. So a cloud bill is not always just number of users, times subscription price. Sometimes there's also consumption on top. And that means your billing review process should include 2 questions. How many users have access? And are we using anything that can create extra charges? If you only ask the first question, you may miss the full picture. Let's compare that to data center. This is where the difference becomes really important. Data center is Atlassian's self-managed option. That means you operate the platform yourself. And the billing model is different too. Data center use an annual subscription model. So from a finance perspective, it can feel simpler. You choose the subscription, you renew annually, and the cost structure can feel more fixed. But that simplicity is in billing comes with more responsibility on the operational side. Because with data center, you own the platform story, you own infrastructure, you own availability, you own upgrades, you own performance planning, and you own the maintenance burden. So in a way, cloud and data center shift complexity to different places. Cloud reduces platform operations, but makes billing more dynamic. Data center simplifies some of the subscription story, but increases the technical ownership. That's why this is not just a pricing decision. It is really an operating model decision. If your team wants Atlassian to manage the platform, cloud usually makes more sense. If your team needs self-managed control and you can support the infrastructure effort, then data center may be the better fit. But these are really different commitments. So don't compare them only by invoice. Compare them by ownership, compare them by admin model, and compare them by internal capability. And compare them by a long-term roadmap. There's also another point worth mentioning. If you are evaluating data center seriously, this should include a roadmap decision, not just a billing decision. Because choosing data center is not only about what works today, it is also about how you want to operate over time. Like I mentioned at the beginning, there's already a date announced for data center from Atlassian itself. So if you're not already using data center, it's more or less impossible to get Atlassian data center. So make sure the conversation includes finance, admins, technical owners, and decision makers. That way, you are not solving one short billing question while creating a bigger long-term challenge. So let's make this decision simpler. Choose cloud when you want less platform overhead, centralized subscription management, and a model where cost is driven by plan, access, and possible usage. Yeah, stay a data center when you want self-managed deployment, more direct platform control, and you are ready to handle the operational complexity that comes with it. That is a trade-off. Cloud gives you less infrastructure burden. Data center gives you more infrastructure control. So let's close with 3 concrete next steps. First, review who has billing authority in your organization today. Make sure the right people have access. And make sure you do not depend on a single admin. Second, review what is your actual driving your current cost. Look at the plan, the billing cycle, the number of users with access, and any possible extra usage charges. Get a real picture of what is shaping your bill. Third, decide whether your organization really needs cloud billing flexibility and lower platform overhead, or data center control and self-managed ownership. That decision should be made deliberately, not by accident. If you do those 3 things, you will be in a much better position to avoid billing surprises, improve internal ownership, and choose the Atlassian model that fits your organization best. Thank you for watching.
This is my time. I'm on the rise.